So here we are with my Axon, and I just wanted to do a quick little video showing how I mounted the FPV gear. And yeah, for right now I'm basically using the Axon as a testing platform for FPV. I'm also going to build Ed's peace drone, and probably in the end use that for FPV flight. But for learning purposes, I'm going with the Axon right now. And basically what I did is I've got the one of the little CCD board cameras from Hobby King. I believe this is one of the $17 options. The lens it came with, I think, was a 3.2 millimeter lens. Hobby King sells some different lenses, but of course they were out of stock when I placed my order. But I was able to find a supplier through Amazon for a 2.8, and angle of view I get with this is actually acceptable to me, and you'll see that in the demo footage coming up. And all I did was using some of Ed's similar techniques. I just made a smaller tube to fit the camera housing, and what I have right here is just a couple little extra pieces glued in to hold the camera in place so it doesn't slide forward, but the camera itself is not glued to the foam board itself, so I can always cut this apart and take the camera out and put it in another enclosure if I need to. One thing I do want to say about this camera I got from Hobby King is it has red, white, and black leads coming off the board, and it comes with that. It comes with the cable, and all you gotta do is click it to the board. But the problem is, you would expect your black to be neutral, your red to be your positive, and you would assume white to be video, since it's not yellow. Normally video is yellow. But on my particular camera, and I found this in the forums as well, the red and white is actually reversed. So you either keep that in mind when you're wiring it up, or just using a fine point, go ahead and pull the pins out of the connector and switch them around so that your red lead is in fact your positive and your white is your video. And it comes bare on the end. So I soldered on an existing servo lead I had to connect to the existing lead that comes on the video transmitter. And the transmitter is pretty straightforward. It has leads on there for black for your ground, red for positive, yellow for video. And they also include the audio. I just bunched them together. I'm not using them right now. I guess that's an auxiliary audio, because this transmitter does have audio built into it, because as it stands, I'm receiving audio through the receiver. So nice little perk, nothing extra I had to do there. You can see I've already got IB Crazy's cloverleaf on here, one of my first attempts. Now this stem is rather long. It's not by any means ideal, but since this was my first attempt at soldering a cloverleaf, I opted to leave myself some repeat room, so to speak. So if I messed it up, I could cut it off and do it again, cut it off and do it again. And I think inevitably what I'm going to wind up doing is basically making this length, I'm going to cut it in half once I'm a little more confident with my skills of making the cloverleaf. These came out pretty good, and as you'll see in the test footage, the video quality coming through is actually very good. The only little dropouts I had was when flying directly overhead. And basically what I did is enclosed the camera, as I said, inside of this little custom-made box. I tucked up a lot of my extra cable inside the little box here, and just using a Velcro attachment, which is sufficient enough. I used, and as I talked before in my other videos, I didn't mount my nose flush. I left an extra platform that added an extra 4 inches here to extend out the 30-inch tube, and I simply cut a little hole here where I feed the transmitter through. And since my battery tray is on the bottom, I just feed the battery lead down through here and tuck the other cables in there that aren't being used. I'll probably just wind up removing these audio leads off of here just to get rid of a couple of wires. and then leave my video lead coming up through the top, and this guy just sits in there nice and flush, and the camera gets velcroed right on the front, and she's ready to go. This is how I flew her in the upcoming footage you're about to see. But yeah, this is the 5.8 200 milliwatt receiver transmitter combo from Hobby King, and you look at the instructions as far as setting channels, and even, you can't see it now because I covered it with Velcro, even this piece of sticker they have on the back that tells you what the dip switches are for the different frequencies is totally wrong. It's way off. With the instructions that comes with it, the instructions for the receiver have dip switch settings for one channel, and the instruction manual for this one has dip switch settings for the same channel, but they're totally different. In actuality, whatever dip switch settings you set on the transmitter needs to be exactly the same on the receiver. So if you have them all turned off, they need to be all turned off on the other one, and there's your matching frequency. Once I figured that out and came to that conclusion, with some help from some postings on RC groups, so thank you very much there, works like a charm. And so far, all in all, I'm very pleased with the quality of the output. Next stage in the game will be to go ahead and incorporate the OSD module into this factor and do some real FPV flight. And that's about it. So without any delay, here's the test footage with this guy going in the air.